Hi, I'm going to show a sample Spring Boot application. So for this, I'm going to use a website called start.spring.io, from which we can download, we can configure a sample Spring application and download it. This is basically a boilerplate code. This is a group name I have given. I wanted a Java project with a Maven builder and the latest stable version 2.3.3, and the group name I'm giving in.ravikala.springboot demo, and this is the artifact name, which is demo spring boot, and I want the package name to be until this one, and I want it to be a packaging type to be a jar and a Java version as 8, and I will add web component to it. This helps in adding a UI component to the Spring Boot application. The UI comes in when I add Swagger to it. I'll show you soon how to add that Swagger dependency. So now I'm generating the application. Here there is a generate, it is generated here. Demo Spring Boot. Okay, I'm going to import it. Existing Maven project. And browse downloads Spring Boot demo Spring Boot, and open. So basically we have to find out where a POM XML is there and open it. So that POM XML appears here. I check that and click finish. I have to do Maven because this is a Maven project. I have to do Maven update project. This helps this STS to resolve the latest POM XML. Basically that identifies that XML is clean or not. So this is the XML. Here we can see the previous settings we have given. The group ID is this one we have given, in.ravikala.springboot demo. Artifact ID, this is the application name we gave, and the Java version we used is 1.8, and here this is the parent project, and these are the dependencies that came by default. Spring Boot starter web is the one which we selected. This is for testing purposes. So we usually see a error for some versions of Maven. Basically we have to set the Maven jar plugin version to 3.1.1. This helps in resolving the issue. Under SRC, main is where the actual application code is there, and test is where the application test code will be there. So under main, Java in resources Spring Boot demo Spring Boot application. This is where the entire Spring Boot application starts. Run as Java application. It starts the Spring Boot server on a port called 8080. Tomcat started. It starts the Tomcat server and also deploy the application in the Tomcat server and run that application over 8080 port. It says that the application started in 2.342 seconds. That is pretty fast because there are no dependencies here. So just running it like a standalone Spring Boot application wouldn't add much value. We have to add some controllers to it. That means we have to host some web services here. Let's add a new folder here called controller, and let us add a new class called demo web service. So now demo web service class is created. We will make it a REST controller. And we'll create a request mapping to it. That means here we can say what is the URI on which this web service should be called. Basically, I want it to be a demo web service. I can write some method which can be hosted as a web service. Public string get name return, let's say Ravi demo. And this is just a simple Java function. To make it a web service, we have to map it to a request mapping, and value equal to all, and method equal to request method dot, if you see, delete, get, head, options, patch, post, put, all these method types are there. I go for simple get. So when we hit a web service, when we hit this web service, not all, I'll probably name it demo web service, get the name, right? So yeah, we'll use this. Now I'll restart the application. Okay, now the application started on 8080 port like before, but this time we can hit the web service with a URL called http localhost /8080/demo web service, which is at the class level, the request mapping at the class level, and the name, which is request mapping at the method level, at the web service level. So this is the URL which we can hit. Let us see if it works. See, we got demo response. Let us add some fancy stuff to this. We always need to add a logger, which is good for debugging. Logger manager, log manager dot get logger. You should get a logger, but we have to get logger for this class, so we have to say this class name dot class. So we have to give the name of the class in which we are creating this logger, so that will be printed when we print the logs. So usually in any function we have to we can print the logs here. So my preference would be just to mention the class name dot start, because this is the start of the function. Class name dot method name. This says that where this log is printed. Let us start the application once again. Okay, now I'll do the same thing. I get the same response, but if you see, the log is printed here, the start demo web service dot get name. So it is good to see the logs, what is happening in the background.